Well, I'm down here at the banks of the Missouri River here in the capital city for the Missouri River 340, the kayak race. And this is something that we really covered last year. We talked with a couple of teams, a couple of the front runners. They've already passed through this morning. Of course, the majority of the people that come out here to do this for fun and to have a good time are still well up the river, and they'll be making their way down here this afternoon and even into Thursday. But while I was down here, though, I ran into a gentleman. We're going to talk to him right now by the name of Wilson, and he built this area. Now, Wilson, when you say you built this area, did you build this with the kayakers in mind, or what was your vision behind this?
I met the kayakers 9 years ago when their first race, when 16 of them pulled, so it's been a family affair ever since then. It needed to be done. That's what it boiled down to. This sandbar wasn't here. That river come all the way back up to where we're standing right now. But I placed some rocks up here, and when the backwash hit this place, it backfilled all this in here. So it was luck, just luck.
Now, is this your land? I thought this belonged to...
Actually, the city, Parks and Rec, owns all this bottom over here, basically since the flood of '93. I don't know, I just saw something here that needed to be done, and actually I felt like if I didn't do it, it wouldn't get done. So it's kind of a labor of love.
What do you think of these kayakers when they come through? Talk about your experiences with them.
Crazy, but I love them. I figure anybody crazy enough to get on this river for 340 miles needs all the help they can get. I love them to pieces. Most of them, the vast majority of them, are not in it to be first or at the top of the list, so to speak. It's more of a personal challenge, and it is a challenge. You got 88 hours to finish 344 miles, or 340 miles. It's just that personal challenge. I'm not for sure. I like challenges, but I don't think I'd take 340 miles paddling. I like a motor back in my boat.
Now, Wilson, and actually, there's your boat over there. Do we have an opportunity to go out on this thing?
Hopefully won't have to go out. It's a safety boat. We had some opportunities last year. Matter of fact, an Asian carp knocked a fellow from Columbia out of his boat, and we got him in here, called EMT. He had to have surgery.
No kidding.
Big.
Now, last year when I was out here, I walked out onto the rocks. I noticed that the rocks are pretty much gone. Can you tell me about the river? Because it looks like the current is pretty strong as well this year.
Well, it's just, right now it's a little over 9 feet, and that's not 9 feet deep. That's we call it the datum mark. We're about, 250 feet above sea level, so you add another 9 feet onto that, and that's how high we are above sea level. A lot of people don't understand what that measurement means. But right now we're about 9. This is probably, as far as I know, in my playground or backyard, one of the lowest dikes for 14 miles either direction. That's my playground. It does concern me somewhat, but these guys on the water, they've learned, some of them are new, but they learn pretty quick, and it's a big team, family out there, so they help each other out. But they learn to read these ripples you see here, okay? I thought about putting some markers out there, especially of a night. The river's a completely different world when the sun goes down, and that's where a lot of these paddlers really find themselves, because you don't go so much on sight, though we have a full moon. The ears play a big part.
Interesting stuff, yeah.
And like this to contend with.
Right, yeah, you're dealing with barges on the river, you're dealing with a current, higher than normal river. Now, the one thing that did help, like you mentioned, there was almost the near full moon. It was bright last night, and the temperature's not as hot as it was last year, so that certainly plays into their favor too. So we'll try to check back and see if we can catch up with some of these kayakers as they start rolling in. The leaders have already passed through on their way from Kansas City to St. Charles, and we'll try to catch up with some of the people that are trying to make it to the halfway point here in Jefferson City. Wilson, thank you so much.
Oh, my pleasure. Come on down to the river. We'll see you at the river.